Hi everyone. In this video, let us see about control and coordination, chapter 7. This video is for class 10. Class 10, chapter 7, control and coordination. So we'll be seeing about human nervous system. Under that, we're going to see parts of the nervous system, nerve cell, brain, and the spinal cord. Parts of the nervous system, nerve cell, brain, and spinal cord. So first let us see the parts of nervous system. So the parts of nervous system consist of two things. One is central nervous system, also called CNS. This central nervous system includes brain and the spinal cord. Okay. So what is central nervous system? Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Next. It's called peripheral nervous system. PNS, peripheral nervous system. That means the nerves that arise from the cranium, brain, okay? The nerves that arise from the brain and they are called as cranial nerves. You all know that the brain is protected by cranium. Okay, it is well protected by cranium. So we call this as cranial nerves, the nerves that arise from the brain. And next is the nerves that arise from the spinal cord. They are called spinal nerves. So cranial nerves and spinal nerves together they are called peripheral nervous system. Okay. Under control and coordination, we are studying about human nervous system. Under human nervous system, first thing, the parts of nervous system. We are dealing with the parts of nervous system. Under parts of nervous system, two things. One is central nervous system. The other is peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. This is also known as the CNS, central nervous system. Second one, peripheral nervous system called as PNS. It includes cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves arise from the brain and spinal nerves arise from the spinal cord. Okay. So next we are going to see about neuron, the nerve cell. Okay. Nerve cell neuron is the basic unit of nervous system. Okay. Nerve cell, it's also known as neuron. It is the basic unit of nervous system. So let us see. This will be the structure of neuron. Okay. This entire cell body is called cyton. Cyton, cyton. Okay. That cyton comprises cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay. Cytoplasm and nucleus. So nucleus and cytoplasm together called cyton. And it has branches called dendrites. Okay. And there is a long filament running that is called axon. Okay, it's a long nerve filament. That will end up here as axon terminale or fibers, axon fibers. Okay, that entire axon is surrounded by cells known as Schwann cells. Schwann is the name of the scientist. So to honor him, we have the name Schwann cells. He only first identified. So Schwann cells, and they have a protective covering called myelin sheath. These Schwann cells have a protective covering called myelin sheath. This axon is the long nerve fiber or nerve filament. It will end up in branches. It's called nerve fibers. Okay. So at the end of each cell, we have a node. That node is called node of Ranvier. Again, it's a scientist name, node of Ranvier. There is a node, here it's a node. So at the end of each cell, there is a node called node of Ranvier. So this is the structure of nerve cell. Okay, nerve cell or neuron. It is the basic unit of nervous system. It has a head-like structure and a long tail-like filament. The head is called cyton. Inside the cyton, we have cytoplasm and nucleus. And surrounding the cyton, we have a lot of branches called dendrites. Dendrites will receive the messages from brain. Okay, and we have the Schwann cells, node of Ranvier. That is how the structure of neuron will look like. So how it functions? Actually, the nerve cells receive the messages. We call it as impulses, messages in the form of chemical reaction and as electrical signals. Okay, in the form of chemical or electrical signals, it will receive the messages and it is passed on from dendrites through the entire neuron structure through axon fibers. Okay, it's called the nerve impulse. Impulse also mean message. The messages are received from the dendrites from the brain and it is carried over. Okay, as electrical impulse, it is passed on from one neuron to the another neuron. The end fiber of one neuron will join with the head of another neuron. That junction we call it as synapse. The end fiber of one neuron will join with the head fiber of another neuron. It's called synapse. Okay. Okay, so what is nerve impulse? Nerve impulse is the dendrites receive the messages from the brain in the form of chemical and electrical signals, which is further transferred to the entire nerve cell as nerve impulse. Okay, now let us see the next part. Okay, next let us see about brain. Okay, so we are dealing with human nervous system. First, I told you about the parts of the brain. Then we saw about the nerve cell. Now, next one is brain. It is the main coordinating center. Okay, it's the main coordinating center. The brain is well protected inside the cranium. Cranium is nothing but the skull. Okay, it is well protected inside the cranium. The average weight of the brain is 1.36 kg. So all of us have the uniform brain weightage. Okay, 1.36 kg is the brain weight. Next, the brain is covered by a membrane called meninges. You can see here, it's covered by a membrane called meninges. It is of three layers. It is of three layers. So about each layer you'll be reading in your higher class. Now you understand that it has three layers. Together they are called meninges. Inside the meninges there is a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, shortly called CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Right. So brain is the main coordinating center of our body. It is well protected inside the skull called cranium. Okay. The size of brain is 1.36 kg. The brain is covered by a membrane called meninges. It is of three layers. Right. And inside the membrane, in between the membranes, we have a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. Right. Now, the brain has three parts: cerebrum, forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. In the forebrain, we have the cerebrum and olfactory lobes. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Okay, the largest part of the brain. It is called the cerebrum, and also includes olfactory lobes. This cerebrum, their functions are voluntary. Okay, and this is concerned with almost all the receptors. Okay, touch, taste, smell, sight, hearing. Okay, almost all the receptors are functioning because of cerebrum. Okay, also the mental abilities like thinking, learning, memory, emotions, all these come under this forebrain. Okay. Next, midbrain. Midbrain is concerned with involuntary actions and reflex movements of head, neck, and eyes. Okay, we turn the head like this and that. We blink our eyes. A lot of things happens involuntarily. So that is the function of midbrain. And finally, the lowest part of the brain, hind brain. Okay, it includes cerebellum, pons, medulla. Cerebellum, pons, medulla. Cerebellum is concerned with body movements, balance, and the posture. The way you stand erect, the way you walk erect. Okay, the maintenance of balance, equilibrium, steady state. Okay, all these things. All our body movements and posture are controlled by cerebellum. Pons, that is concerned with only respiration. Okay, it controls respiration. And medulla. Okay, it is the next part of this hindbrain. It also includes some of the involuntary actions like sneezing, vomiting, coughing. Okay, so all these things will come under medulla, right? Okay. Okay, next we are going to see about spinal cord. Okay, so what is spinal cord? It is the extension of medulla oblongata. In the hind part of the brain, in the hind brain, we saw cerebellum, pons, medulla. Okay, that medulla extends into our vertebral column, that is backbone. So it extends into our vertebral column as spinal cord. Okay, it extends through our vertebral column as spinal cord, and the spinal cord has 31 pairs of spinal nerves. 31 pairs of spinal nerves. It carries message to the brain and from the brain, to and fro. It carries message. Message in the sense impulses. Carries message to the brain and from the brain. Controls reflex actions. Okay. Not only that, uh, this medulla is also concerned with our BP, heartbeat. Okay, all these things. Okay, spinal cord. It is the extension of medulla oblongata, the last part of the hindbrain that only extends into our backbone, that is vertebral column, as spinal cord. It has 31 pairs of spinal nerves. It carries messages, impulses from the brain to all parts and also to the brain from other parts. Then it controls reflex actions. So in this video, we saw about the human nervous system. Under that, parts of the nervous system, first thing. Secondly, about the nerve cell, neuron. And third, about the brain and the three parts of the brain. And finally, about spinal cord. Hope you enjoyed this video. Kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you.